Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome back to Hitchcock's Motorcycles. In this video, we're doing something a little different to the norm, and we're actually going to be introducing one of our team members here at Hitchcock's. We're going to be talking about the bike he chooses to ride to work every day, his motorcycling history, and what he loves about Royal Enfield motorcycles. So with no further ado, let's welcome Steve onto the channel and let's go through some questions. Thank you for being the first to agree to do this, Steve. It's very brave of you. It's always strange being in front of the camera for the first time, so I do appreciate that you're doing this for us. Let's start with you working at Hitchcock's. How long have you worked here and what do you do for us?
Okay, so I've been working here just shy of 4 years. My job's working in goods in. We receive the stock in from various suppliers as well as obviously from Royal Enfield direct. When the things come in, we check them for quality, book them in, and then they go onto the shelves.
Excellent. Is there anything you particularly enjoy about your job? Is there anything that you wish could be different? Now's a chance to fire it into the world and Mr. Hitchcock. No, I'm joking, of course. Let's talk about your biking history.
Right.
I know that you choose to motorcycle, you don't drive a car.
Yeah.
Is that a lifelong thing? Have you always just ridden, or have you had cars and decided to go the opposite way?
I have had cars. When I first started, after I passed my car test, it was probably several years before I had a car. I just carried on with the bike. Mm-hmm. And then recently, I've gone back to just having a bike. So probably the last 6 years, I'd say I've only had a bike.
Yeah, sure. And what were your early choices in motorcycles? What's the sort of style that you enjoy? And what led you to starting to ride Royal Enfields? I know you've got a few. We'll discuss that in a minute.
Yeah, so I obviously first started riding a bike because, like a lot of people of my age, I finished school at 16. And living in a rural area, I needed transport. So the only transport available at that age was a moped.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, so that's how I started into the bikes. And then using the bikes for commuting, I've always tended to favour the commuting style of bike. Had a lot of MZs when I was younger. I also had my first Enfield quite early on in 1981. It was an Indian one. And then progressed through various Japanese bikes. Had a couple of sporty bikes, a ZX9R and a Honda. But I have tended to be more on the sort of commuting small bike side of things.
Yeah.
Had a couple of Harleys, because you do.
And would you say you prefer the look of a cruiser? Is that your sort of style that you would choose, or is it just a case that you fell into that at the time?
Yeah, I mean, for instance, with the Harleys, it was mainly because when you're a kid, you always want to ride, so you do that.
Of course, I did the same thing.
Yeah, so, yeah, great. And then quite fancied the Himalayan, so I had a Himalayan. Yeah. So that was my reintroduction. It was also how I got the job here, because I was coming here for parts and I saw the advert. Mm-hmm. And yeah, then I've stayed with the Enfields because, I mean, it's like the Meteor here. It's very basic, very easy to work on, it's economical. Yeah. We all know that they're a good price to buy.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, that's why I've tended to stay with the Enfield.
Excellent. And your current stable at the moment, I think you've got 3 on the road Enfields?
I've actually got 4.
4. Okay, so let's go through them briefly. Obviously, we've got your 350 here
350
today.
Meteor.
You tend to ride this more.
Yeah.
I see you on this more often.
Yeah.
Is that your favoured bike at the moment?
That's my daily ride. It's quite a long commute for me here.
Yeah,
so.
We've got a similar commute. We're both about 30 miles-ish each way.
Yeah. So, yeah, it clocks the miles up, copes very well with that.
Okay.
So I've got the Meteor. I've got a shotgun, which I initially bought just for something a little bit quicker to keep up with my friends. And then I've got a 1960 Meteor Minor with an airflow fairing. Mm-hmm. And I have a 535 Lightning, an Indian bullet basically, with a sidecar on.
And that's the winter bike. I've seen that when the weather's been a little bit...
Yeah, and also with not having a car, if I need to carry anything bulky, it can go in the chair.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Moving specifically onto this bike, what made you decide on a 350 on the J series in particular, and why the Meteor over, let's say, a Hunter or a classic 350? Was there any choice preference, or was it just what was available at the time?
I was quite keen on the J series engine because it's quite a robust little unit.
Right, it's a cracking engine, yeah.
Beyond that, it's actually it was actually what was available. This came up with a dealer up Stoke-on-Trent way, and the price was superb. It had got 645 mile on the clock, so yeah.
And what sort of mileage is on it now? Because I know you do bang on the miles.
A little over 16,500 now.
Right. And do you self-service, or have you had
Yeah.
that deal? And any issues so far? Have you come across anything? Is it
No. It's
everything?
a lovely bike
yes,
to work on.
we say
Yeah.
that they are. They're easy to service. And
Yeah.
easy to maintain and run.
Yeah.
Have you had any issues in your ownership period?
No, I've not had a single one as yet.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been good.
Okay, so we'll look over the bike briefly in a minute to see the modifications you've made. In general, obviously you use that as your commuter bike. Have you done any trips or any longer journeys on it?
It's done a couple of rallies.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And
But I've only been UK based.
Yeah, sure. But you're more than happy to do it on a bike of that power. You don't feel like
yeah. I mean, I'm not a great fan of motorways on a bike anyway.
No, sure.
So the little lanes and that, superb little bike.
Excellent. And what sort of economy figures and do you roughly get?
It's superb. I'm getting between. I used to keep a little bit of a log, and I was getting between 95 and 107 to the gallon.
Blimey, yeah, that's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's frugal.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable to ride, and obviously with the bits that you've added to the bike, which we'll go through in a minute.
Yeah.
It's useful as a daily hack as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's just have a quick break there. Let's get and have a look at the bike, and we'll go through what Steve's done to it. So, Steve, let's go through the bike and what you've done to it in your 16,000 miles roughly of ownership. Firstly, I've noticed you've changed onto the Bridgestone BT46s.
Yeah.
Was that a choice to change, or did you just wear out the Seats and look for an alternative? And what do you think about these tyres?
The Seats were great. Grip-wise, handling-wise, they were lovely through the summer. As I started to get into the winter, I thought they were white lining just a little bit.
Yeah, they do tram line a bit, yeah.
In the cold.
Yeah.
So that's why I changed to the Bridgestones.
Okay, and how do you find them? Are you happy with them?
Yeah, they're great.
And getting good mileage out of them?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great stuff. The next thing I can see is you fitted one of the genuine Royal Enfield touring screens.
Yeah.
How do you get on with that?
It's really good in that it keeps the pressure off your chest, so it makes the bike more comfortable to ride. Weather protection wise, that's not its job.
Yeah, sure.
What I do like is, unlike most, a lot of screens that are handlebar mounted, the way this is mounted, where you put it, it stays there.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't move. So it's really good in that regard.
Obviously, without meaning to be rude to yourself, you're not the tallest chap. You're
No.
you're slightly vertically challenged. Do you get any buffeting off the screen?
No.
So it's okay for that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Next thing I can see is you fitted some adjustable levers.
Yeah.
Is that of benefit to you? Or?
It is. Again, I think I'm just starting to get a little bit of arthritis in the hands. My grip's not quite as strong, and the reach is not quite so good. So I found, predominantly for the front brake, it just made it that little bit easier.
Good to use, comfortable.
Yeah.
Easy to set up.
Easy to set up.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Next thing I see, and we will gloss over this quickly because you didn't choose the ones that we sell. You've got some heated grips fitted.
I have.
I'm assuming that's just to help you go through the winter.
It is. Up till 5 years ago, I'd never used them. Couldn't see the point.
Yeah.
When I bought a bike with them on,
Game changer.
all my bikes now have heated grips.
I'm going to introduce you to my heated gloves at some point, mate. That's a game changer. I noticed you've got some crash protection on the front. We've just gone for a genuine Royal Enfield crash guard. Does its job? You haven't tested it.
I've not found out yet. But yeah. One of the things of riding through, because I ride all year round, even when it's icy and stuff, you can have a slow speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for that sort of thing, it's ideal. It just stops the levers and things being bent.
Okay, and moving towards the middle of the bike, I noticed, and Jamie will pick this up on the camera, that we're obviously showing some wear. It's done 16,000. You're, without meaning to be rude, you're not fastidious in your cleaning. You do clean them, but once in a blue moon sort of thing. Do you do anything to protect the bike? And how do you find the sort of the quality of the parts, the wear and tear, etc.? Yeah,
so I mean, the little bit of corrosion that you can see, you'll get that on any maker bike if you're riding it in the salt.
Yeah, absolutely.
cleaning wise, I clean it every weekend because that gives me a chance to, you know, check the
over it,
chain
yeah.
and just check, you know, everything's where it should be. In the winter, I do use after the wash, I do use a protectant spray. Just give it a little wipe over to give it a bit of a sporting chance.
Yeah, sure. And obviously, you've been riding through plenty of winters, many years, just, you know, on the bike. Are you happy with the way that this bike's wearing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice because of the cast wheels and that. You don't get the corrosion with the spokes.
Yeah, sure.
It's easier to clean.
Yeah, and obviously the benefits of tubeless make being much easier if you happen to get a puncture, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, moving back towards the back of the bike, we're pretty much stock. You haven't done any performance modifications, no exhaust or anything like that. I noticed you fitted some of our Jivvy luggage. We've gone for the mono key side panniers and a top box.
Yeah.
Obviously that's going to be beneficial for you not having a car, doing shopping and errands and things like that. But how do you find it in daily use? Are you pleased with the quality, the ease of use, and how you fitted, etc.?
Yeah, daily use, the top box is a must because, you know, the smallest item from the shop and that, it's not going to go in your pocket.
Check your sign is in there, etc.
Yeah, that stays on there all year round. Panniers tends to be just for if I'm carrying anything specific or if I'm going to a rally, putting the camping kit, stuff like that. So these, most of the time, aren't fitted. Ever so easy to take them on and off.
Yeah.
Just turn the key.
And the security benefits of the hard panniers, being able to lock them if you leave the bike for any length of time, etc.
Yeah.
Do you worry about security much, or you know, do you carry chains and that with you, or?
I must admit I am a little lax in that regard.
Yeah.
Because I live in a rural area and predominantly rural roads, I should probably take a little bit more care.
But you've got enough carrying capacity there to be able to carry your locks, put your helmets,
I've got a disc lock in the back, but don't use it that often.
Excellent. Okay, let's get back in the shade to the bench. A couple more questions, and then we'll call it a wrap. So, Steve, just a couple more questions, if that's okay. I know it's hot as hell today, so I'll try and get you back in and in the cool as soon as we can. You've mentioned that you enjoy going to rallies. Part of the experience of owning a Royal Enfield for me has been sort of the camaraderie that you get. I know you're an active member in the Royal Enfield Owners Club. Can you discuss that a little bit and just, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. Really fortunate. I dare say it applies to most areas, but certainly in our area, the Owners Club's very active.
It's quite vibrant here, around here, isn't it?
As well as the monthly meetings, more or less every Saturday we have a breakfast run, and that's throughout the year. So even through the winter and that, we tend to do that. So yeah, it's got a real good social side.
And I guess you may have experienced that before with your Harley ownership, because that's something that they're well known for, the chapters and that. Were you interested in that then, or has that become more so with Royal Enfield ownership?
I'd say more so with the Enfield ownership. Yeah.
Great stuff. And just a couple more questions to finish. These are sort of theoretical questions. If, heaven forbid, that was taken away from you today and you had to pick one of the other models to be your chosen bike, what would you go for if I wasn't holding a gun to your head?
Well, I realise it's still a J Series engine, but I really love the Gowan in its original colour scheme.
In the Trip Till?
Yeah, I really do like that.
Do you? Is that your cup of tea? And you'd ride that every day through the winter with the orange wheels? And...
maybe not through the winter because that's a bit too much chrome on there. So, but we'll have to see. I might have to drag the shotgun.
The shotgun might have to be the winter hack. Yeah. Good stuff. And finally, another theoretical question. Let's say that we are given tickets to Motorverse in India and we've got to make our own way there on our own way back. Which bike out of all bikes that you've had the pleasure of riding, whether it's a Royal Enfield or another marque, are you choosing to do that? Obviously we'd prefer it if it was a Royal Enfield. And what soundtrack are you having playing on in your helmet as we're making that journey?
As sad as it sounds, I will probably pick this.
Yeah.
Because it is, if you're in a challenging environment, the bike isn't. So, you know, that would make life so much easier. As to soundtrack, I don't tend to listen to music much when I'm riding. I tend to just like the soundtrack of the engine.
Yeah, good stuff. The J Series does make a good pump, doesn't it? Well, thank you very much for joining us. I do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, and thank you for being so candid. Okay. That's all for this week, guys. Hope you've enjoyed that video. If you do have any questions in regards to the 350 Meteor, I'll try and answer them myself, but if I get stuck, I'll ask Steve his opinion on it, and we'll get back to you in the comments. My name's been Matt. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.